What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the OG Sports Show. It's your boy Chuck.
Slow motion.
And B.
Fellas, what we in? Week 8?
Week 8.
Week 8. It's been a pretty busy, intriguing week for us Tampa Floridians this week.
Yeah.
A lot of chaos, a lot of craziness.
A lot of craziness. COVID craziness.
Yeah, a lot of folks with no mask running around acting stupid, doing silly stuff.
I get it.
People acting out of character.
Is it though? The Bucs did win the Super Bowl, so.
I mean, they did.
It's out of character.
Definitely out of character.
Be real now.
Well, we got a whole lot to get into.
Yeah.
So let's jump right into it. Slow, what the lick read, bro?
What the leak read? Week 8. The NFL football season as a whole came to an end on Sunday with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are your NFL Super Bowl champions.
Yeah, man.
Go Bucs.
That's it.
Dang,
Let's get into the game.
we can't get into the Look, man.
So
I called it. I'm gonna start us off because I called it. I said if my boys got past the Saints, there's a pretty good chance they can make it to the Super Bowl and win it, which they did. Beat the Saints, beat the Packers, sent them boys home. Got into this game in the Super Bowl. Todd Bowles and the defense did what they did. Tom Brady did what he had to do. Didn't make no mistakes.
that was key.
Which was key. They were able to run the ball. Defense stepped up and pretty much just dared just say, look, we're going to take Tyreek Hill out the game. They're going to play this cover 2. They're going to keep 2 safeties back. And they're going to make you're going to have to beat us running the ball or you're going to have to
They could have had Tyreek Hill. They could have had Randy Moss. They could have had T.O. in his prime. It would have made a bit of damn difference because the Kansas City offensive line could not stop a nosebleed.
That was the key.
Difference in the ball game.
People, I give credit where credit is due. They had a good scheme.
Oh, yeah.
They had a good scheme. I wouldn't even call that cover 2 because those safeties was playing on McDeal and the game was on Dale. Maybe, and they kept everything in front. They kept the deep ball away.
Yep. Because they sure let Travis Kelce take it. Everything Travis Kelce wanted up front, they gave it.
But when you can't block
exactly
4, I mean, do you really need much of a scheme back there?
They didn't have
because
to blitz.
I mean, it was like JPP and Shaq was like, it was like the Kansas City line was like they was matadors. Olay.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I give it to them, but one thing that they didn't do that we kind of talk about a lot is they did not try to run the ball that much at all.
No, they got behind. They got behind, and you can't run.
I mean,
but you can see in the start of the third quarter, they gave it a look see.
They were pretty.
They were somewhat successful,
right?
I mean, they just abandoned it, but like you said, I think it was because they was behind.
They got behind.
Also, they probably get you think about it, man. You got Andy Reid, Eric Bieniemy. You got these shiny toys and Tyreek Hill and Kelce and Hardeman and your boy Pringle got in and got him some work. You want to play with them toys, you know what I'm saying?
But that's always the downfall of every team. Like
every time.
Every time, that's the downfall of every team is you. So just because the Bucs the run defense is ranked pretty high, and you got Patrick Mahomes, and you got all these toys, like you said, you don't want to run the ball at all. You got to even if it's just for show, just to make them play you honest, you have to do that. And that's for me. That's on Andy Reid, and that's on part of the game planning. Todd Bowles came out and said, "This is what we're gonna do, and we're not gonna move up out of this. You're gonna have to take what we give you, dink and dunk." And he didn't do it. They didn't, because running the ball is pass run blocking when it comes to offensive linemen is a whole lot easier than pass blocking.
Yeah, but you know that nobody had, not just the Bucs, but nobody had any real fear of Kansas City's running game all year long.
They haven't done it all year.
So them running the ball in the Super Bowl they'd have been running just for the sake of running it. Like they had no fear of them running the ball. So I get what you're saying. They still needed to have that balance.
I mean, if they had both of their starting tackles, different game.
It'd been a different ball game.
But you don't have your starting tackle, so why not ease the pressures on these backups and also ease and at least get the Bucs to kind of think about, well, they're gonna at least run the ball. So we got to make sure we kind of stop that first. They didn't do that. Like I hear what you're saying. You got all these toys, you got all this stuff. They didn't do it all year. But sometimes that's the sign. That's why that's a sign of a good coach is you have to be able to adjust and do what the other team is not expecting. Like we talked about with Todd Bowles when they played the Saints in the playoffs again. He didn't sit back and let Drew Brees dink and dunk and pick him apart and only rush 4. He knew he had to put pressure on Drew Brees, and he did it. And he was successful. He knew he couldn't blitz Pat Mahomes like he did the first game they played or like they've been doing all year. Let me pull these safeties back, keep everything up front, and they're going to have the dink and dunk and drive up this field. So at that point, that's adjusting. The Chiefs didn't adjust. They got out of whatever. The Bucs came out, hit them in the mouth, and at that point, they kind of folded. And kind of like we said with the Bills, they came in and kicked field goals and weren't getting touchdowns.
Yeah. My thing is though, I think that I don't know what kind of adjustments they could have made because of the fact you play D line, I play DB. You know that if you got if me as a DB, I know if my D line can get pressure, I can kind of sit back and do a whole lot of reading and watching before I have to react to anything because I know they gonna get the pressure. You think about it, they had Vita Vea back in the middle, was gonna plug up anything in the middle. They got so much trust and faith in their linebackers. No matter if it was run or pass, JPP and Shaq Barrett had their ears pinned back the entire game. So they didn't have to stop and read run. They was going to take off anyway take their chances because
that's why they got some of the running plays off.
Because they took off so much. That's why they was able to get them, like you said, a couple of lanes, get them a couple of run plays off because JPP and Shaq Barrett, their job was to get to Patrick Mahomes every single down no matter what happened. So I don't really, because of the fact that both their tackles was out, I don't know what adjustments they could have made.
Because this ain't the first time somebody zoned them up.
No.
I think, because if you see when they did move the ball, when Patrick Mahomes did have a little time, he found Kelsey in them zone pockets. Mm-hmm. It's just when it got compressed, once you get in the red zone, everything compresses. Mm-hmm. So everything's flooding the zones, and he's running for his life.
Right.
You can't find anybody open.
Right, because they don't have no time to get open. Because, like you said, everything's compressed. So.
And I was just thinking about something. Did Le'Veon Bell play?
I don't think he got in the game at all.
No, I ain't seen him.
That's kind of weird.
I don't know, dog.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
but you think about the type of runner Le'Veon Bell is. If we have no line blocking, where he's a patient runner, he would.
I mean, at least in the swing game, he's a good receiver out the backfield. Yeah, because I was thinking, I was like, and nobody really. I don't remember in the game that anybody pointed that out. One of the commentators that they went with Williams and
Romo was too busy on Mahomes' jock. You know it's gonna happen. It's gonna come. They're gonna score.
Man, I ain't gonna lie. After the second quarter, I was like, it's over. I didn't see it change. I didn't see nothing change. I didn't see nothing that happened. Even though the Bucs didn't really do much in the second half, offensive wise. I think they only scored 3 points in the second half. Didn't they? It was 28 to what? 28-9 at halftime.
28-6, I think, because I think Kansas City.
And the final was what, 31-9? Yeah, so they didn't only score the field goal after halftime, but they didn't really need to at that point.
Yeah.
Game was already over.
They were running the ball and very successfully running the ball, and they had Kansas City's defense on their heels. So, my boys pulled it through, and I'm glad. I'm happy. I got to see another Bucs Super Bowl in my lifetime.
I want to ask you this though: how you feel about? Because I thought about this when they was talking about it. I think after the game, they said that basically every touchdown that was scored in the Super Bowl was by a Buck that wasn't there the year before. To me, it takes a little bit of the luster off of it because of the fact that, you know what I'm saying, you think about the work that Mike Evans and Godwin put in the year before. Like, they was top 5, both of them was top 5 receiving yards. I'm sure they sacrificed a lot to win this game, but to me, it didn't feel the same because we had we had 2 Gronk touchdowns. We had Leonard Fournette score another touchdown, and basically the touchdowns were scored by what we could say is brand new Bucs in a sense, because they ain't really been here through the grind. Now, to me, it meant a whole lot more if Bruce was able to take last year's team with no new additions and win the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? To me, it kind of feels a little bit like when, LeBron and them got together in Miami and made the super team, win the Super Bowl. Yeah, the Heat fans was happy about it, but most of them was bandwagon ones that jumped on in the first place. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's the thing. The average person don't even care.
Yeah.
They won.
But to me, like I said, it's like it loses a little bit of its luster. Like I said, I would have given them a whole lot more credit, and I'd have been a whole lot more excited for the city if last year's team would have turned it around this year and ran the table and won the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Instead of having to, bring in all these big money players to make it happen. You know what I'm saying? It just would have felt better for the city, in my opinion. That's just me.
That's true. I mean, I understand what you're saying. I know, being a Washington fan, Dane Snyder tried to buy Super Bowls, try to add pieces. It didn't work.
He paid the wrong people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you have to tip your hat to them. They hedged their bets, and they got, I remember when the Rams did it.
Yeah,
they went full on, and you failed. So they hedged their bets. Winner, takes all, and they won it. I'll give it to them. But I want to throw out the elephant in the room, and that's the first half calls. Now, I'm not gonna say that it made the Bucs win. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not a football, but it sure helped them. And those were it was 3 bogus calls.
It was definitely a couple of defensive holding calls that like I said, as a DB, I'm like, what the hell can they do? You know what I'm saying? If I can't put my hands on you at all.
The Bashaud Breeland penalty was trash.
It was trash.
Because I honestly thought that Bashaud Breeland tripped him incidental contact.
Right.
There's a video on YouTube. This dude slowed it down. Bashaud Breeland didn't even touch Mike Evans. Mike Evans flopped.
Oh, wow.
Mike Evans, he showed when the ball was clearly going to be over, he wasn't going to catch it. Mike Evans flopped.
Well, the same thing with the pass interference in the end zone against
Tyrann Mathieu. Pointed that one out too.
The ball hit the padding outside.
That ball was uncatchable.
Not a catchable ball. Like, you can't call that. Like, especially in the game of this magnitude, you can't make those. Especially those 2 calls, you can't make those.
There was 2 people on Twitter that pointed out some stuff, and I kind of retweeted them. One was Tony Dungy, and you can't be offsides when you're going to line up for a field goal block.
Oh, that was legit.
That was a legit call.
So you gave up 3, and they got 6. The Bashaud Breeland, that's the only one that I was like, okay.
So the one in the end zone, you thought that
well,
was
and this is where I'm going, because Steve White, former Buck defensive lineman, he does a lot of article and breakdown of players. He said he was kind of in the same mind, but he looked at the all 32, and he said the reason why it was called was because Tyrann Mathieu redirected Mike Evans, and it was egregious.
Right, but
so
that the rule is it's got to be catchable. That's illegal contact.
Right.
That's on the refs for calling the wrong penalty.
Right.
But a penalty should have been called.
Yeah, penalty should. Yeah,
but it's only illegal contact if it's past 5 yards.
That's true too.
Right.
I'm not sure
he was within 5 yards when he made contact and redirected him. So yeah, that you could throw the illegal contact out the window because it wasn't beyond 5 yards.
I can say this too. It don't matter what was called. You only scored 3 field goals the whole game. And
that's why I say I'm not saying that's what made them lose.
No, exactly. Yeah. So I understand that. I mean, people, you look at him like, for me, the Bashaud Breeland, Mike Evans, that one, I'm like, okay, you could have held on that one. The other ones, I don't have a problem with the calls. And then too, finding out that this particular referee crew, they were known for throwing flags. So coming into the game, I'm pretty sure both teams know, like, hey, look, this crew throws flags for pass interference. You're going to get penalized.
But my thing was, it seemed like they must have had a conversation with them at halftime because the flags kind of slowed down after that.
I think so.
They had to tell them, like, look, look what was going on. People are talking. Y'all are making too much of an impact on the game. Like, we're tired of seeing y'all. We want to see these 2 high-powered teams play.
But
because they slowed,
it was over by then.
Yeah, because it was. Yeah. But you could tell, like I said, in the second half, they stopped. There wasn't as many flags going out, in the second half. Because I think the Kansas City was penalized 95 yards in the first half, which is just crazy. For a Super Bowl, that's crazy. Especially when they've been playing like all playoffs long. But like I said, I don't want to sound like
I'm not taking
anything away from them.
It's just the fact that it was some calls that helped, because you know how football is. If they held them to a field goal there instead of a touchdown, we don't know what kind of momentum
different ball
they would have got. But in another unpopular opinion, do you think the calls were because the woman official to get some shine.
I don't think that had anything to do with it. I think, honestly, if we keep it all the way real, honestly, not this year, but in previous years, we've all seen situations where it looks like the referees favor Tom Brady.
Right.
Let's keep it real. Like, I mean, they got video of him fist bumping, referees, and they high fiving and whatnot. So, we've seen some ridiculous calls that Tom Brady's gotten over the years. So, like I said, I don't. Again, I'm not trying to make it seem like it was only this year, because there was several NFL players on Twitter that night saying, "Come on now, wow, this is obvious."
Well, look, the tuck rule,
right? So he does have some favor.
He has a lot of favor because the penalty on Tyrann Mathieu, Tom Brady instigated the whole thing.
They had to apologize.
Yeah,
because Tyrann said he called me something. I'm pretty sure I know what he called him. Something that you don't call a man, especially a black man in the South. You don't call a man that and just think that you're just gonna run off and it's gonna be all good. Right. He probably called him out his name. He got a little worked up, called him out of his name.
Yo, what up, OGs? But Tyrann Mathieu started it first when AB shook him out of his shoes for that little goal.
It was a great route.
Right.
He went up to Tom after that and pointed to his face.
But
Tom was wrong.
But something preceded that though, because that's when Tom I told him before that play that I'm going after you. They had already had some words before that, and that was when Tom. I believe that's when Tom said what he said, and Tyrann came back to him and pointed in his face and told him something. Don't ever say it to me again. I'm guessing.
And then he proceeded to run.
Right, and Tom ran him down.
Yeah,
but I mean, it's Tom Brady, so just like Michael Jordan got him, LeBron James get him. I mean, like I said, it's nothing taking the shine away from Tampa Bay. They earned this. They got it. But it's just fact that it was some questionable calls in that first half.
Yeah.
So
once again, Kansas City only scored 3 field goals.
Exactly. And that's on them.
Yeah.
That's on them.
And they got to eat that.
Yeah, they got to eat that. The Bucs earned their Super Bowl. I mean, whatever they did to get it, because winning in this league is very hard.
It's tough.
Yeah, that's when we see people get fired and teams moved, all kind of things.
And to your point too, Chuck. I mean, I would have loved to see last year's team make it, with the players. Most of the players, with specifically Jameis Winston and some of the other guys that were here. But for me, I was never a Tom Brady fan, and after this season, he's got my respect. Not just because he came in and won a Super Bowl with the Bucs, but you look at all the stuff that they had to deal with, a pandemic, no training camp, no off-season OTAs, no real practices and stuff like that, and they still were able to kind of find their way through the season. No real COVID outbreaks during the season, so wasn't too many people missing. No real major injuries. Ronald Jones, and it's not like you said with Fournette. I think the reason why Fournette came on is because Ronald Jones had COVID.
He was a little injury prone.
Got hurt.
But that's the one dude I felt like if anybody earned a trip to the end zone in the Super Bowl, it was him. Because you think about it, early on in the season when they got in trouble, Ronald Jones bailed them out a lot. He bailed them out a lot, and I felt like, much respect to Leonard Fournette, I feel like Ronald Jones deserved a lot more burn in that Super Bowl. I know he was coming off of an injury,
but he got opportunity, got his ass stuff.
He did, but I just, what I'm saying, to me, like, I felt like them Gronk touchdowns, that should have been break. You know what I'm saying? Like the AB touchdown, why wouldn't that got one or Mike Evans?
They
you know
had
what I'm
to
saying?
get AB a touchdown in this thing.
Yeah, but see, that's my thing.
Yeah.
See, like I felt like everybody who grinded the last 3-4 years for the Bucs didn't get the shine, and Tom Brady's gonna get all of the credit.
Yes.
Like I saw the safety, I think his name Bunting. I forget his full
Bunting,
name. He tweeted out, put some respect on the name. I retweeted him and said, I want to, bro, but they giving Tom Brady all the credit. You know what I'm saying?
I saw an Instagram post where they said, should the NFL retire the number 12 across the league when Tom Brady leaves the game? I was like, really?
That's a great. I'm glad you brought it up. So can we get into the whole or is that for our next segment of who's the greatest athlete of all time?
No, we
talk about it now, man.
So, on top of this win, which is 7 Super Bowls, is an astronomical feat.
Right.
At 43 years old.
Huge feat. I take nothing away from him. The conversation about him being the greatest athlete of all time is absolutely asinine.
It's the dumbest shit I ever heard in my life.
Every
I respect Tom Brady. I love Tom Brady. Got my team a Super Bowl. I love greatest NFL quarterback. You definitely you know ain't too many people can say nothing about it. Most winningest quarterback.
Yes.
Can't too many people say nothing
Can't
about
take
it.
Can't take it from
Can't
him.
take nothing. Athlete. So you mean to tell me if I lined up Tom Brady in the lineup and I put next to him Deion, LeBron?
Yeah, you can put offensive line.
Bro,
in.
don't even do that. Every female athlete that we've
is
shouted
a better
out,
athlete than Tom Brady.
everyone that we shouted out, who's that lady, is a better athlete than Tom Brady. That man ain't
Lisa
got a
Leslie right now is a better athlete than Tom Brady.
He is the least athletic, winningest quarterback in NFL history. The
But
least.
it helps that everything around him is.
I will take Dan Marino scooting around his last couple of years with them bad knees over Tom Brady's athleticism any day. Why are we even talking about that?
Greatest athlete, I don't know, because it's Tom Brady.
Bro, I can give you 100 people
We
more
all
athletic
can.
than Tom.
We all can.
Three of us are more athletic than Tom Brady.
And no,
Right now, Tom Brady can't beat me in a foot race.
shit, Tom Brady get your ass.
I'm only a year older than him.
Tom Brady is in peak physical condition.
Peak.
Yes,
When Tom Brady was a young buck, what did he run at the combine?
4, 8, 9.
It wasn't 4. Don't give him that. It was 5 and some change.
Wow,
I can backpedal faster than Tom Brady can run
I
forward
would love to see that.
I got Chuck in a 40.
all day long.
He
Bro.
might
I may
blow out all his hamstrings.
I may blow up my hamstring on yard 35.
Nigga, your Achilles is gonna pop at the 5-yard
It
line.
might.
You done. You going down.
But I'm still more athletic than him. He's not.
That's a bold statement, bro.
He's not even in the discussion for greatest athlete of all time. Not even in the discussion. Is he the most winningest quarterback? Yes. He ain't even the most winningest athlete of all time.
No, he's not.
Because if we're going to talk about that, Bill Russell got how many rings? 11. He don't got enough fingers for rings.
But, you know, like somebody pointed out, Serena got 23 Grand Slam, and that's a
Tom Brady couldn't carry
Singles
Serena's
sport.
rackets.
Yeah.
Now, you went Australia Open pregnant.
Yeah.
But Tom Brady's the greatest athlete of all. In the discussion for greatest athlete of all time.
I mean, everything around him is good. Because if he was so great, could he have won in New England this year? No.
Everybody opted out of New England this year.
He wouldn't have won.
He wouldn't have
This
won,
was
no.
the golden. This was the best opportunity for him. The Bucs were set up for.
They were ready
success.
to win. They were ready to win. They had all the pieces in place to win. We didn't even need Gronk.
No.
Didn't even need AB.
No.
The Bucs could have won without those two. I'm not gonna say we didn't need Leonard Fournette because, like you said, Ronald Jones had some injuries and stuff, so he was in and out. So Leonard Fournette, yeah, we could have used him for sure, but didn't need Gronk, didn't need AB, and they still could have won with what they had.
Yeah.
In my
Because the
opinion,
defense was intact. I mean, besides Whitfield.
right?
It's the
and,
same
and they
defense.
drafted him. So,
So
but yeah, conversation about greatest athlete.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, he is an athlete.
He's
Right.
a athlete.
He's an athlete. The greatest athlete? Nah.
I don't even know if I can even call him athletic. It's hard for me to do that.
come on now.
I mean, he
You
can't
gotta
throw.
give- you gotta
He
give
can
him
throw a
something.
football.
He playing football.
I mean,
at
he's
a high
playing
level,
football
so
at
he-
43
yeah.
at a very high level. So yes, he is
gotta give him
athletic.
that.
You got to give him that. He may not be out here like LeBron on the court running up and down at a very high level dunking, but at 43 years old, standing back there with big ass men running at you, dodging them, making throws, making plays, and getting up and doing that shit for 16 for 18.
I'm not gonna. Okay, I get it. I'm not gonna say he's not athletic.
Okay.
However, if this was 1990 and the rules were different, and Tom was 43 doing his thing, when you could take his head off if you felt like if you got back there, and they didn't call roughing the pass if you hit him on his shoulder like they do now, I would give him way more credit. Right now, you can't even touch him. And when you get too close to him, he get turned into the Sandman, get that thing out of there fast as I don't know what. I'm lying.
You still got to do it, dog. That's 40. That's a 43-year-old
non-athletic.
That's a 43-year-old
You was gonna say it right.
non-peak athletic white man.
He ain't been peak athletic in 20 years.
He did it though. So no, he's not the greatest athlete.
Man, Scotty Miller should be like, greatest athlete? What? Scotty Miller should be offended by that.
Scotty Miller probably is.
Scotty Miller run the 4.3.
Scotty Miller say he'll dust Tyreek Hill.
He did all that
drunk.
talking and caught no balls.
Man, it's all good. He got a ring though.
You got a ring.
You got a ring.
Shady
McCoy got a ring.
Got
The-
2 rings
back to back.
And it didn't even do nothing.
Ain't smelled the field. He
Ain't
got a
man.
little bit of dirt rubbed it on his pants.
I ain't mad at him. What's next? What's next, man?
Congratulations to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers
sure.
and all the
Congrats,
real Buccaneer fans
Yeah.
out there. Not the bandwagon.
Not the bandwagon jumpers.
Not
who've
the
been on.
97s.
Let me turn so you can see.
Man, I went to. Let me tell you, that day, Super Bowl Sunday, I had to go to Brandon Mall. I had picked up something for my parents for their anniversary. And man, I was so disgusted by how many T-shirts and flags and hats I saw. I'm thinking, where was all y'all last year when they were 79? Nowhere to be found. Now here they come showing up
You know how it is. It's
at the
easy to
parade and at on Del Mabry after the game.
We got a million on IG now.
get. You see?
Man, get out of here.
Last year was like 400,000.
You know.
and they go back to losing, and they'll
You know.
go back to
Yeah,
bitching and
once it go
complaining.
back, then they'll be
And
like,
we'll go to a game, and then there'll
Well, my
be
second
there'll be
team is,
70% of the crowd be cheering for the other team, like normal.
But hats off to Buccaneer fans.
Go
After
Bucs.
the Super Bowl, the press conference, and you bring up the coaches, you bring up the players. Byron Leftwich was confused,
Mistaken
for Todd Bowles
Yeah,
by a
'cause
New York Times reporter.
Y'all all look alike.
Y'all all. You look more like Byron Leftwich than I do.
I think it's pretty
I'm
sad.
way too pretty.
It's real sad. And what made it so bad was it was his first question.
Yes.
Like it wasn't like there was any reason for him to be confused because somebody else asked about it. It was his first question.
Right.
You came in there ready to go. You had your notepad and everything.
and they introduce who's coming up before they start
Every
asking questions.
time.
Byron Leftwich, offensive coordinator. So yeah, you guys had a pretty good game plan against Pat Mahomes. You know, you didn't really let him. And you looking at Byron's face like,
Let me tell you something. Byron deserved a raise just for keeping his cool. Because
But that's how we have to do.
man, let me tell you something. If
Let
it's-
that happen to Nick Saban.
I feel you. But if it's me and I just called a Super Bowl win for my team, my chest is poked out a little bit. So I'm like, man, get this clown out of here because he don't even know who he's talking to. Next
They'll
question.
been like, Coach Charles Moss was very aggressive when the guy just made a mistake.
very combative with a reporter who just made a simple mistake.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, but y'all all look alike though, so it don't matter.
It's just sad, man, because you hate to pull the race card, but it's evident there.
Bro, it ain't but so
No
many. It
white-
ain't but so many of us coaching.
However, whatever white coordinator been confused.
I mean, wait,
as
let's
another coach.
let's be honest. Have you seen Bruce Arians' staff?
Yes, it's all.
It's all of us. But I mean, it still ain't. We still make up 50% of all the coaches in the league.
It
probably.
was a Zoom call. It was a
Man,
telepress
I don't
conference.
care, man. Don't get that dude no.
So what they
no-
just said, all the coaches are number one males.
All y'all look alike.
Yeah, black male 1, black male 2. That's who they are.
Short black male, tall black male.
Ghetto black male.
Oh man,
It was ridiculous, bro.
Byron Leftwich puffed that cigar hard as hell and just laughed, dog, because that's all he could do is just laugh.
Man, me,
You got
I'm
Brandon Barrett.
a Super Bowl champion. I'm probably gonna cuss you out.
Oh,
You know
I
what
was
I'm saying?
watching-
Now, if we would have lost, I really would have cussed you out.
I was watching Get Up.
yeah.
I was watching Get Up, and Dominique Rogers-Cromartie was like, "They not even the same complexion."
Right.
Not even close.
Not
even close.
I think Byron Leftwich might be 6'5", 6'6". And I
Tom
know
Bowles is dark.
Dark, you're right.
Dark.
And let's keep it real. And this is no disrespect to our white listeners and watchers. They look more like than we do. Like we all different shades. You know what I'm saying? You feel what I'm saying? It's easy to confuse them with each other than it is to us, in my opinion.
right.
Or am I smoking?
Well, no, I mean,
you know, not really.
I mean, look at us. We all 3 different shades in here.
Not by that new logo. We got.
Not by the new logo. But everybody can see how pale I am. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Mr. In between. over here.
Slow just a shade
PK
past
and
me.
He can. I'm the darkest one in the building.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now, if anybody confuses any of us,
He a field Negro.
I was making sweet tea in the house.
This nigga was in the stables taking
Yeah,
care
I
of the
was
horses.
saying-
He was in the sun. He was taking care of the horses, putting on horseshoes and shit.
But like you said though, man, it is sad though. Like I said, there ain't but a handful of us, and you get us mixed up with somebody with each other. That's just it's already slapping the face, and none of us get head coaching.
You keep saying a handful, but Bruce Arians' staff is 98% black.
right, and his staff makes up about 50% of the black coaches in the league. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, it
But
ain't
like you
Once
said
again,
earlier,
you all look alike.
they announced who was coming up.
It don't
Right.
matter.
guys. We got Byron
Darky
Leftwich.
number one.
We got Byron
Darky
Leftwich,
number
Bucs
two.
offensive
That
coordinator.
makes it even sadder.
All you heard was one, Darky number one.
Yeah.
Sad, man.
Are we having chicken for dinner?
Look at him. He loves it.
All
Sad.
right.
Y'all ain't shit. Next, what's up?
Controversial interview before the Super Bowl on a local sports station here in Tampa.
Oh, that shit.
Former Buccaneer on the first Super Bowl team.
Super Bowl MVP. No, that was
Yeah,
no, Dexter
no,
Jackson.
He should have won it.
He should have won
He
MVP.
should have won.
Yeah, should have
Because
won.
he had two
Two pick sixes. Yeah.
Dwight Smith came on the radio show and claimed that the NFL Super Bowls are fixed.
The interview itself was all over the fucking
It was all
It was crazy because he got an attitude problem.
right.
I-
Y'all only call me when it's Super
Right.
Bowl time.
I
Nigga, when
played-
else we gonna call you?
I played basketball with him once at the YMCA in
He's a
New
little
Tampa.
dude, too.
Yeah.
He's no taller than me.
Right.
Like I said, we played pickup one time at the YMCA in the university at New Tampa, and he was an asshole then. So I wasn't surprised he was an asshole on the radio.
radio.
It didn't shock me. However, I too am a NFL conspiracy theorist
You
to
are.
a degree.
You are.
I don't think every Super Bowl has been set up. I'm not going to say rigged, but set up. But I think a handful of them were. And that one in particular, the one he talked about, the Bucs' first one, at the time I thought it's real convenient for, not that the Bucs didn't deserve to get there, because they were the best team in the NFL.
Right.
But they just so happened to be playing the Raiders, John Gruden's former team. It's a hell of a story. You know what I'm saying? I think the NFL at times they need stories. I think to kind of to reel in more people. And if you think about it, this year that's a really good story. We got the young incumbent GOAT that everybody is crowning already coming in to play against the confirmed GOAT, as everybody says. So man, it's a hell of a story. I mean, it's we had COVID, we had all this other nonsense, all this craziness going on. This is a great way to distract everybody from that and get as much attention to Super Bowl as possible. Now, like I said, I can't confirm none of it, but I mean, to hear from a cat who actually played in the game to say that they knew what the Raiders were doing, and that's not the first time I've heard that. We've heard many people say that we knew what they were doing before they were going to do it.
Right.
And logically, you think, yeah, I mean, y'all's head coach used to be their head coach, so yeah, that would make sense. But I thought to myself, why would they run the exact same system
From what he was
from
saying,
what he was running?
the Raiders wasn't even running that prior to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he said that they went to John Gruden's playbook prior to the Super Bowl.
Right.
So that when they ran it in the game, they knew what they were doing.
Exactly. I'm with you. I think the interview was all over the place. I'm not giving him much credit for anything, but it just makes you think.
Makes you
Because
wonder.
if you look at this Super Bowl, like you said, the Bucs didn't score. Vegas had a record day for bets at the Super Bowl here. All the money went to the Chiefs and the over.
Right.
The Bucs kept it under, and the Bucs won. So Vegas cleaned up.
Yeah.
So it just makes you think. That's all. It just makes you, because you being a football fan, you would hate to find out that something is fixed or whatever. I don't think the whole NFL can be fixed, because you cannot get 32 owners and 32 teams to agree on this.
No.
You can't judge injuries, because if Tom Brady gets hurt, Bucs don't win.
Right.
So
I agree.
So,
I think in some situations, I feel like in some years it's gotten to Okay, this is what we got in the playoffs. Okay, what's the best case scenario for us being the NFL for our Super Bowl based on what we got in these playoffs? Like I always think about the Rams and the Patriots in what was that, 2000?
Yeah. Oh, the first time.
Right.
Yeah.
The Rams were the greatest thing we had seen since the 49ers.
Scoring 50s
I mean,
and 40s left
the
and right.
greatest. It just seemed a little.
And the money was on the Rams.
It seemed a little convenient. Like it was right after 9/11 that the Patriots win the Super Bowl when no one picked them to win. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all having this discussion between yourselves because I don't believe none of that shit. So.
Of course you're not going to believe
Yeah,
it.
I mean, you're not. Throw this one out the window. I know. I guess it's hard for you to throw the first Buck one out the window, even though I know the Bucks were the best team in football that year. But it just seemed it did not seem kind of odd that they was so damn dominant in that game.
But they were dominant the whole year defensively.
Yeah, but it was ridiculous. How many picks they had that game? 5, 6.
I lost
Dwight Smith had
Dwight
two.
Smith had 2.
Derrick
Dexter
Brooks
Jackson
one.
had 2.
Dexter Jackson had 2. Derrick Brooks
Derrick
had
Brooks
one.
had
took one
one.
back to the house.
Like
So
it
that's
was
5 right there, and it could have been. It might be some more. I don't know.
Rich Gannon hadn't thrown 5 interceptions probably the whole year.
For me, it's just like you said, it's too many factors
Right.
going into for them to be like, we're gonna rig everything and make sure we get who we want. Do they want the best game? Of course, every league wants the best games possible. Sometimes it doesn't happen. That interview for me was just all over the place. He came on angry. Y'all only called me when it's Super Bowl time. Well, bitch, when else we supposed to call you?
Well, I still don't understand what they called him for this time. To be honest with you,
I guess because he played
in
for
the Super
Bucs.
Bowl, and they've done it.
And
years,
he was a
they've
key
done it years
player.
before.
we ain't seen him since. So who cares? You know what I'm saying? They could. There was so many people they could have called in the interview. You know what I'm saying? That to me, that I don't
Man, the
care
funny
about
shit
that.
is Ronnie Night Train Lane cut that shit short, quick. He was like, all right.
Yeah. He was professional
aggravated?
about it.
He was like, man, this shit ain't going nowhere.
He saw it.
He saw it. He
felt
saw it. He
Yeah.
felt it wasn't going nowhere. He just said, all right, well, thank you, Dwight.
But like I said, it's crazy and as much of an asshole dude is. Like I said, before I even heard that interview, I had those thoughts about a few games in the past. Like I said, I don't feel like they've done it every year. You can't do it every year. It
No,
just don't make any sense.
no.
But I feel like there's been some scenario, some situation where they've been like, okay, this is what's gonna give us the best Super Bowl story, the best attention. Like I
Right.
said, the probably the best action in Vegas, the biggest ratings. Let's see if we can make this happen.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, like I said, just give you something to put in the back of your mind.
Yeah.
Because if you see it happen, let's say next year's Super Bowl, and the same thing happens again where Vegas cleans up, then you're like,
Yeah. Can you think about it? What would have been a better story in our Super Bowl this year? It wouldn't have been one.
I know the
Let's
city
say the
of
Saints.
Tampa,
Let's say the Saints would have made it.
it would have been Drew Brees' swan song.
Let's say if Green Bay would have made it.
Then you would have had the 2 top teams in the league.
But
play.
what if Kansas City didn't make it?
Yeah.
what if
then you
Cleveland
got-
made it?
Right. Yeah. If Cleveland
Like,
made it.
nobody
Then
would-
now you got
Exactly. You know what I'm
Cleveland,
saying?
I mean, Cleveland makes it. Now you got a team who made the playoffs first time in
right.
Another
years.
another good story.
So there's all. I mean, you could always
Could
find.
you
You could always.
imagine Mayfield in the Super Bowl?
No.
This dude ego.
You thought
this dude
Dwight
head
Smith,
wouldn't fit.
you
in the
thought Dwight
stadium.
Smith was an asshole.
Dude head wouldn't fit in the stadium.
No.
man.
And it wouldn't even been worth watching. No. But yeah, like I said, it's there's no way we'll ever know the truth or whether if that's done or not. But it does make you think.
Yeah, it was just interesting. I
And it's
thought
funny
it
you brought
was
up
bogus.
the tuck rule. That's probably the worst call ever made in history.
And Tom Brady admits that I brought the ball down.
Yeah.
And the referees just, and then they reviewed it like, yeah,
Nope.
yeah, no fumble. But that's it, fellas. With the Lick Reads for Week 8. And on to the next.
Good times.
All right, you know what time it is. It's time for What You Own, and this is our music segment where we give y'all some classic albums and some stuff to listen to. Go out and check out if you don't know about them. This week, which one of y'all want to start us off?
I'll start off because
All
I
right,
think C started off last time. Okay, my album goes back to 1987,
87,
which
yeah.
is my sophomore year in high school.
So you was just coming off the practice field.
Yeah. The man hit us with his first album called Radio. And he came in with so much fire from off this cameo on Crush Groove. Radio took off, dope album. But he came back with probably his best of all time, in my opinion. I might be wrong.
You
know me,
quick to
I'll go
crown
on a limb.
somebody.
Quick to crown the best one ever.
But Bigger and Deffer by LL Cool J. Super dope album
Dope.
for its
I
time.
remember at the time I was like, deaf don't even make sense. Like deaf was really a word in the first place. But anyway.
Exactly. This is still in the B-boy stages of hip hop, you know.
Yeah.
You put down, he had great lyrics, great production on the album. And it wasn't the first hip hop love song, but it's the most popular hip hop love song.
I Need Love.
I Need Love, that stayed on the charts for a long time.
He was romancing on
Yeah,
that
it
shit.
actually went over to the pop chart.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, he stayed, and LL started selling out.
It was over after that.
What? He
was
became a heartthrob.
He was already taking his shirt off and whatnot.
Yes,
He was out of
ladies
control
love
after
Cool
that.
James.
My cousin played the shit out of I Need Love.
What? I had a homeboy who made a tape with just that one song on the whole tape,
He
back
was,
to back.
He was gone then.
Yeah,
He was gone.
yeah.
Somebody had him. He was gone.
He was gone.
Yeah.
But it was a super dope album. I mean, it launched LL into the stratosphere at one time. You know, he really threw out the term GOAT far as MC. And at one time you had to hand it to him because he hit all decades.
I think he still could be in the conversation
Right.
myself.
Yeah.
He's relevant.
He's top. I wouldn't say top 5. He's top 10 for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be relevant in the 80s, 90s, in the 2000s, I mean, he fell off. LL, I love you, but don't make no more albums. You good, just go off with what you got.
Show up every now and
Just
again.
feature on somebody.
Yeah,
Give
feature on
somebody a
somebody's
feature.
stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't want to see you on no album with Lil Baby and
Definitely not.
Takeoff.
But ain't that sad though? How our artists in hip hop, like they it's like a they time run out at a certain age.
Yeah.
But the Rolling Stones still making albums
True.
at 70 years old.
True.
That's sad, man.
Well,
We
you know they
shouldn't
have
do our folks
hardcore
like that.
fans, but you know one thing about them old MCs, they can make a lot of bread overseas.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah.
You know, so-
They can still go on concerts. They can make some bread here too.
yeah.
Cause I go to a old school hip hop concert in a heartbeat.
Oh, most definitely. Last thing about LL, like the thing I remember he did when he had the contract with Gap, but he wore FUBU clothes.
Yeah. That's some bullshit.
And he snuck that FUBU in there for us by us in there.
Yeah. And they let him do it.
Left that shit in the commercial.
He advertised for FUBU for free
In
Yeah.
a Gap commercial.
in a Gap commercial.
Gap was like, we don't care.
Get
Our
out.
hoodie's still
What
gonna
is
sell.
that FB?
Oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry,
You?
don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
But that's mine.
He need to be commended for that. For sure.
I'll go next because I know you're pretty passionate about who you, and it's probably a good story. You probably met him going to take a shit in Kmart. Or
I
something
wish.
like that. But I'll go. So my album this week is by one of the first New York artists that I kind of got, like, other than like the big ones, Big,
Right.
Nas, you know, the old school guys that came before them.
Right.
This is one of those guys who kind of came in and did a lot of stuff on the underground and was and is considered a lyricist, and that is Mos Def. And I'm going with Black on
Yes,
Both
sir.
Sides.
Yes, sir.
This and why I chose him is because this is 1999. My junior year in college, and I had a partner, Walt. Walt is a hip hop head, is a music head, so we called him Bookman.
That's horrible.
Well, no, because when he was like the superintendent of our dorm hallway
Terrible.
when we
I don't
first
care.
our freshman year. Anyway, like Walt was always sitting in his chair in the hallway. He would whoever came in the hallway.
Terrible
Anyway,
nickname.
he got a nickname Bookman. But my nigga Walt used to burn CDs.
Okay.
So Walt was one of the first people I seen. Him
Oh,
and
man.
Marcus that was burning. So he burnt the CD for me, And like a lot of that underground stuff and a lot of those artists that didn't make it big in mainstream, he kind of turned me on to and kind of got that love for him. So
Right.
Yeah.
this was one
The
of the first,
Backpackers.
right. This is one of
Yeah.
the first albums he gave me. Now you talking about, and everybody remembers the Miss Fat Booty video.
Yes.
Yeah.
When he's rapping about he's in the club, a chick blew him off
Right.
because she thought he was just some regular, some herb ass nigga, some nigga who wasn't nobody.
Yeah.
Go to the next party. She in the VIP with his homeboy. He introduced and she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry I blew you off last time.
Yeah.
Can we dance?" And rap about how that relationship kind of took off. He got a Do It Now song featuring with Busta Rhymes. They going back and forth. It's tight. Of course, a lot of people remember Umi Says.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Umi Says, shine your light on, like that song. And then he got another song with Talib, who him and they made
That's my
Black
boy.
Star.
Yeah.
So that album,
I like Mathematics.
Mathematics,
Yeah.
he's breaking it down.
Right.
And then
Mr.
we talk
Nigga.
about New World Order.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, most of them I don't think he still gets like the mainstream credit he deserves.
No.
He doesn't.
No, it's not just for his lyricism, but he's just an overall talented cat.
Yeah.
Like,
I think because
act-
he's so eclectic,
yeah.
Right.
because he go by Yasin Bey now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he
You
kind of
remember he had left the country.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and he started rapping for a minute. And
Yeah.
I think like 2006 was his last album. Was True Magic, I think. And he kind of started doing more
Right.
acting, and then
Good actor too.
very
He's
good
talented.
actor. Very good
yeah.
actor. So
Oh, yeah.
for me, you get a chance, check out Black on Both Sides, Mos Def, 1999. You definitely won't be disappointed.
I like the thing about Maumi. I remember the Jordan commercial.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they used it
Yeah.
for the Jordan.
Yeah.
I thought that was so dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I'll bring up the rear this week. I'm bringing y'all with another Southern classic from
Nothing wrong with that.
Staples in the South out of Port Arthur, Texas.
Yes, sir.
The Underground Kings, otherwise known as UGK, in 1996, Riding Dirty. There's a couple of songs in here that truly stand out to me, but the one song that to me has the greatest beginning of, or one of, I'm not going to jump out the window like stuff. One of the greatest starts
Go
to
ahead, man.
one of the greatest starts to a song in my lifetime. The song is called Murder, and Pimp C started that thing off with, "I'm still Pimp C, bitch, so what the fuck is up?" Can you start a song off any greater than that?
And Pimp C felt that way
What?
personally.
Pimp C used to always say, you may not think I'm done, but I'm the shit down here.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about? So that Riding Dirty was it for me, from One Day You're Here and Now You're Gone to the High Life.
Yeah.
But just a hell of an album. You can just ride all day long. That High Life, he started the thing off, "I'm tired of living fucked up. I'm tired of living bad. Tired of hearing grandmama tell me when you gonna go to church, Chad." You felt that when, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause your grandma always want to make sure you on the straight and narrow. Chad want to be in the street. He got hoes to pimp. And grandma want to make sure you just go to church on Sunday. You know what I'm saying? So Riding Dirty for me, I know everybody, a lot of people, especially a lot of young people, they hear Riding Dirty, they think, "Ain't that Chameleon that song?"
Yeah.
No, Chameleon that took that song
Right.
and turned into another classic. But that's a UGK album. You
Yeah.
got that song from. So one time for UGK, matter of fact, rest in peace, Pimp C.
Yeah.
Bun B got something out. He got an EP out right now with a
I saw
dude called LES, Ellie Dollar Sign, actually. It's pretty good.
I saw it. I didn't check it out.
You should check it out, man. It's for us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's an OG EP. I think it's only like 5 or 6 songs.
Okay.
But it's good. I got it on rotation right now. So
You know what's crazy about Pimp C, and maybe y'all knew it, I just didn't know it. And the Big Pimpin' video.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Fuck Jay-Z, I'm not going down there."
Well,
they filmed his
well,
somewhere else. And
Bun said that Pimp C didn't want to do the song. He didn't want to do nothing with Jay-Z. He said because he didn't want to do nothing with no New York niggas.
Right.
Like we from the South. He didn't want to do it at all, and he kind of talked him into doing
Right.
it. Obviously,
which kind of launched them, gave them.
it gave him some
visuals.
mainstream.
Right.
Yeah.
And then they say Jay-Z was kind of acting kind of funny on like the video set too.
Yeah, well,
So
from what I heard, that he was acting funny about, I guess, when he was playing in it, and he was like, I'm not going down there. Fuck. And then I didn't really, when the video came out, I didn't really pay it attention.
Yeah.
Then when you go back and see, yeah, he is.
Pimp C he's solo in a sense. He's like he's not in no scene.
Yeah, he's not on the
else.
boat. No.
Right. But to me, like
Oh,
Pimp C
think-
gets. Go ahead.
No, I think that's why he said he wasn't going, because I think they said they was in New York or doing something one time, and Jay-Z, they was over there talking to Beyonce. Now you know she's from Texas too.
Right.
She's from
And this is
Houston.
when they first started dating. And he was saying like how he was telling them not to talk to Beyonce and stuff like that. So I think that's why he came back and was like, "I ain't fuck that."
And
nigga,
you
ain't
can't
going
tell Pimp C not to talk to nobody.
Yeah.
And another thing too, a lot of people don't give Bun B his credit.
Bun B can go.
People need to go back and listen to a lot of Bun B's features, a lot of the UGK albums. Bun B can rap with just about anybody.
Look, that Trill album
Bruh.
still gets played.
Still gets played to this day. Still gets played.
Shoot, one of the better compilations all the time with them and Outkast.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah, that's arguably like one of the greatest songs of a collabo, the
Yeah.
International Players Ball.
just
Yeah.
imagine if they could have. I think they were talking about doing an album at one time.
Oh man, it'd have been so stupid, bro. But yeah, shout out UGK. Like I said, check out Riding Dirty if you get a chance. I'm still gonna ride to it, whether you do or not. So
That's it.
Go get that.
that wraps us up for who we on, bro.
Yeah, that's it.
All right.
All right, it's time for Who You Got. Y'all know what it is. We ain't really got no games to pick, but we got a couple other things we're gonna just get into.
We're gonna walk off the set.
Y'all, you walk off.
I'm so
You
disgusted.
gonna walk off.
So disgusted with you. This cape on, Negro.
It's cape. Don't hate. It's called the Bucs flag, and in honor of my boys winning, and also in honor of me being the Pick'em King.
It looks kind of new along with that shirt. Like you just jumped.
Well,
on,
I
like
got
you,
this.
Like you just jumped on the bandwagon.
Jumped on the bandwagon.
I mean, I'm just saying.
You got a fans.
Y'all know better.
Today.
Y'all know better. Bandwagon. Y'all know better. This flag. Who sent this to me? Somebody sent this to me a couple years ago. Yeah, Tom Brady. I got it. Tom, let me get that. He said, no problem. I got you. Yeah. He knew he was coming to the Bucs 3 years ago.
Tom was
He
juiced.
was fortuitous.
Tom was juiced
Hey,
yesterday.
man. He deserved to be juiced.
Anyway, let's get to the picks. Man.
Okay, so we had our Super Bowl picks. Of course, you picked the Chiefs because you're a Bucs hater right now.
I'm a Tom Brady hater. I'm not a Bucs
Okay,
hater.
whatever. Me and Slow here picked the Bucs, and which we did win. The difference is I picked the under. I chose under 45, which they scored 41.
40.
You chose the over.
Yeah.
So that gave me the win. So in our final standings for football season, that leaves both you losers at 11-10 for our pick'ems, and me at 14-7. I should really start betting on games just off the strength of me going 14-7 and just the knowledge that I have as the pick'em king.
The knowledge that
wait
he
a minute.
has.
Yeah, man. Like I see things with my third eye. I told you I was gonna do this. I tried to go to Party City and get a championship belt.
Yo, third eye don't see.
It would have been real extra.
This because this ain't extra.
No, it's this. It could get a lot worse. Like I could be standing up in front of the camera the whole time with this Bucs flag on my back, and y'all really y'all get no shine. It'll be all about me. I'll turn around and talk shit to the camera.
The show will be over.
Whatever. So with that said, in honor of our early conversation, we were talking about greatest athlete. We're gonna choose between. Here's what we're gonna choose from today in our segment. So you're gonna give me your GOAT champion, so the greatest of all time champion. Who is your greatest all time champion? Any sport, male or female, team sport, individual sport, don't matter. Who's your GOAT athlete? Once again, team sport, non-team sport, female athlete, doesn't matter. And then finally, we're gonna see if we can get some prognostication going on here and kind of give who you think is gonna be your sleeper team that's gonna make the playoffs. That did not make the playoffs this season. Who you think is gonna come and turn that corner and make the playoffs and possibly go to the Super Bowl out of the non-playoff teams? So we'll go first with your GOAT champion. Slow. Who is your champion? Your greatest of all time champion.
Michael.
Besides me winning these picks this week.
You got one title, nigga. Like you're not in the discussion. You about there. Your championship run is about as good as Tom's
And
athleticism.
you won by default because if it wasn't for me coming up with the points, we would be sharing it right now.
Sharing
Right. Because
overall,
picked the Bucs.
we wasn't sharing
No,
overall.
well, I'm just saying,
Yeah,
you
you
was
know,
a pick'em king this
yeah.
week.
Let's get off of this nigga in this cape. Who was your
Michael
greatest
Jeffrey
champion?
Jordan.
Greatest champion of all time?
Greatest
champion.
champion.
Also. Oh, okay. all right.
Explain,
I
expound
mean,
on that.
You got to give a little.
I mean, I could go with an individual sports athlete, which probably a little bit more credence than Michael Jordan, but Michael Jeffrey Jordan came in the league with not a lot of hype, but he was hyped. He was third pick overall, and he built a dynasty in Chicago. He didn't run. He didn't go sign a bunch of people to come with him.
He enjoying the Celtics.
No, he didn't jump on the. He built it.
And it was already
he
ready to
took
win.
all his lumps.
He could have went and played with the
He
Pistons.
could have went. He could have said, I need help, and I'm gonna go play.
Man, no, that sounds like a whole bunch of LeBron hate, bro.
I didn't even have to say a name, but anyway,
I was thinking about Tom Brady. But
true. That's another one. But anyway, on the real, Michael Jeffrey Jordan, 6 rings, 6 finals, no losses, MVP in each final, and just changed the world of basketball on the court and off the court. He is the father of all these cats now who these youngins think are good. He's their daddy.
I mean, it's hard to argue.
So that's your GOAT champion.
GOAT champion.
All right.
Go ahead, man.
I'm not trying to get no points with the ladies on this at all, but I tried to play tennis,
Yeah.
and I'm sorry, Serena Williams is the greatest champion that I've ever seen in my lifetime. Like I said, I tried my best to play tennis, and
That's a hard sport.
it's hard as hell, bro. Just to chase the ball down and then to be able to get it over the net.
Just to serve it on a consistent basis to get, like you said, get it over there.
To me, just her story, her and Venus's story alone, you know what I'm saying, from where they came from to what they've become, is already a championship story.
Exactly.
But the run that Serena has had and the grand slams that she's, you know what I'm saying, been able to obtain, I was going to say Bill Russell.
Which would have been a good pick, too.
Right, but to me, Serena, she surpassed all of them.
Yeah.
I can't find nobody that's a greater champion than her. I'm sorry.
It may not ever be.
No,
in that
and
sport.
she's doing it by herself. She don't. It's not a team sport she's playing in. She don't have help.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? She's doing it on her own. So Serena to me is the greatest champion of all time.
It's a nice pick. Nice
Yes.
pick.
Yes.
That's a nice safe pick.
Safe.
Get you some points with the ladies. Yeah, it's safe.
You know,
Because
I
when we
love the
talk
ladies.
about GOAT champion,
It's the truth. It ain't safe.
okay, women's tennis. Yeah, she's the greatest. Not even
You had to
women's.
throw- you had to throw women's tennis in there?
She's the greatest.
You finna lose some points with the ladies.
No, because I'm finna bring it back. She's the greatest tennis player I've ever seen in my life.
Hands down.
Hands down. Male or female.
Hands
Don't matter.
down.
I'll give her that. When it comes to champions, you said it. You should have gave it to Bill Russell. This man won 11 NBA championships, 2 NCAA championships, a gold medal, Hall of Famer, 5 MVPs.
Yeah.
I don't care if I ain't never see Bill Russell play. You throw that resume up against anybody who's really beating it.
Serena. It's an individual sport.
I mean, okay, individual story. She's it's cool.
Bill had help, man.
Bill had to play during the 60s.
Kuzi, you saw Kuzi running
He
around.
had to play during the 60s.
Kuzi didn't have no left
and
hand.
he had a
was-
nemesis in Bill
Wilt
Wilt Chamberlain.
The competition wasn't that great, though.
He was playing against some
He
carpenters.
was like a.
It was
he
Bill
like-
Russell and
yeah,
some carpenters.
and carpenters.
But you think about though, but on every level he's won. He's won on
I get-
every
Oh, yeah.
level.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like that's Tom Brady ain't winning at every level.
No.
Michael Jordan ain't winning at every level.
What level he didn't win?
So NBA and in college
Yeah, he won.
and got a
he
gold medal.
2.
How many championships Bill Russell got?
He got 11.
How many Michael Jordan got?
6.
Okay, end of discussion.
Did Bill Russell play in the 90s, in the 80s?
It don't
He
matter.
played in the 60s when
We talking about
him and
championship.
Wilt was the only two black players in the league.
So now we're throwing in the caveat of the era of the era that they played in.
Well, if I could jump in
Because
here,
didn't we say something about
for a
Jim Brown
second.
on this
if I could jump
platform
in,
one time?
I did. I said Jim Brown was overrated, but that's
And
a whole
why you said that?
because he played against some bums.
Thank
That's
you.
another conversation. Just to jump in on y'all's back and forth. If y'all added up all of their championships, they still won't have more than Serena.
You right.
So
You're
No,
absolutely correct.
I mean your pick is dope because
Yeah.
I led off and said I could have picked an individual person. I just went with Jordan because I love him.
you can take Mike's gold medals. You can take his championships. You can take in NBA and college. You can take all of Bill Russell's. Add them together. Serena still got
He
more.
won as a player coach too.
Serena still got more.
Okay, cool.
That shows you how bad the league was.
Shit, man, we moving on, man. I'm not gonna sit here and disrespect Bill Russell.
No,
Talking about how
no
bad the
disrespect
league
to
was.
Bill
disrespect to
Russell.
Bill.
It's all
It's
when,
just
so,
evidence.
so when you say no disrespect, that's
That's
all the
just
disrespect.
evident.
No disrespect. He's not a bigger champ. He's not a better champion than Serena Williams. I'm sorry,
I
man.
mean, that might be the one person that can argue, but
He ain't
Michael
got
Jordan.
no shoes.
Ain't nobody wearing no Air
Everybody has
Bills.
shoes.
Ain't nobody got no Air Bills on.
Man, he had them Air Russells.
He was
Straight out
just,
of San Francisco, the Air Russells.
I don't even think he had Chucks back then. I don't know what Bill was playing.
What
in.
makes it even more better, he's playing in some Stacey Adams, winning championships, winning gold medals.
Nah, on the real though, your pick is great.
Okay, all right.
Your pick is great.
It is, but if we had to rate our picks,
Yeah.
Jordan is third.
No.
I don't know.
You going with Jordan? So
I had the
The
man's shoes
Boston
on right now.
Celtics were a super team.
I got the man's shoes on right now. I can't really. I can't.
y'all can kiss my ass with that shit today. Anyway,
Hey, hold on. If you winning 11 championships as a team, they had a super team.
Okay.
Who was challenging them?
so who was he playing in college? He won back-to-back
I give you
national
the
championships,
college. I give you the college.
and they going overseas.
Because I'm not sure. I can't tell you what the competition was and who was good back then.
He was at the University of San Francisco.
Man, Serena was playing against the establishment. I don't care what y'all talking about.
We already established you won.
She
that.
had beads in her head, killing these white girls. Y'all got the nerve to talk about Bill Russell and Michael Jordan? I get Bill Russell was fighting for civil rights.
Respect your elders.
I get Mike got shoes on my feet right now.
Mike didn't take a political stance.
Serena
so
was-
bump Mike.
Serena-
Mike is number 3.
Serena won and Crip walked on the court. Conversation over. Next,
Because she's from Compton.
What we
And
talk-
that-
what
and
we
that's
talk-
what they do.
what are we talking about next?
You guys all look alike.
I've dominated this. I've dominated this pick. What's the next topic? Serena's the GOAT.
So
All of them are great.
who? All of them are great. So now we're going to GOAT athlete. Who is your GOAT athlete?
I'll go first this time.
Okay.
It wasn't easy, but it's hard for me not to pick Bo Jackson.
Yeah.
Not just because of what he did in the NFL and what he did in Major League Baseball, but everybody watched the 30 for 30 about Bo. Bo was the dude on the track. He was the dude on the football field. We've seen Bo dunking in Nike commercials. Like, Bo could do whatever he wanted to do, and it was all natural ability. So it's hard for me. There's so many people that I could name, you know what I'm saying? But if I had to put somebody at the top, if you force me to, I'm going to put Bo at the top.
Okay, Bo Jackson.
Yeah.
All right, who you got?
I was trying to narrow it down, really.
It's hard, man.
It's hard. He pulled, his pick is awesome. I was trying to think of Olympian athletes because of what it takes to be there. I was bouncing between Michael Johnson and then Usain Bolt. But I'm going to go with Michael Johnson. And now, the little asterisk is a rumor that he might have took some Balco. But
Should he be disqualified?
but
Just for the rumor alone.
he didn't test positive, so his record still stands. So I'm gonna go with Michael Johnson.
He's just a sprinter.
Who you got?
I'm gonna go with, and y'all gonna probably laugh at me, but I don't care. My greatest athlete of all time.
It's Tom Brady.
LeBron James.
Ah!
I mean, I'm not looking crazy because I think it's a bad pick. I'm with you to a certain degree. It takes a lot. I'm gonna let you explain.
You're going right into it because it takes a lot to at his age to go from 18 to 36 years
I get
old.
to him.
Not even his age. I wasn't even thinking about that.
Well,
I'm
just-
thinking about the fact that the pure size of the man,
Yeah.
and the speed,
The size,
and
the
the
speed,
ability that he has,
and all of us knowing what it takes to play basketball.
yeah.
And to not have that many major injuries in that length of time, and to make the playoffs and the finals that many times, like that's an athletic feat that
To me, the finals and stuff that won't even matter. Just what the cat is able to
Right.
do. Period.
I get to him.
Makes him a supreme athlete.
right. So that to me, just seeing that, and like you say, we know
Right.
what it takes to succeed in the NBA at that level for that long.
He was also an all-state wide receiver
He
in high
was
school.
a wide, and that too. Like he played, and you think about like Bo Jackson could probably play basketball, but think about all the football players you've ever seen that had no basketball skill, or when they got on the basketball court, they look like fucking bulls in china shops out there.
Yeah. That's
Like,
how,
they
that's
just,
how we
like-
played basketball. It is what it is.
Just look like, man, dog. Okay, you big and strong. You gonna bully your way out here on the court for real. Just you don't have to throw your balls like that.
Yeah.
You don't have to, be extra aggressive for no reason. So, just off of what LeBron did, not saying he's not the GOAT champion, but one of the greatest athletes of all time, if not the greatest. I'm giving it to LeBron. I'm gonna give him his due.
He's definitely in the discussion.
He in the discussion. Just keep him right there. Don't move his ass no further. Keep him right there.
He's definitely in the
I
discussion.
mean, if he wins 2 more championships,
I don't think to me that won't
It's
matter.
Still,
It don't- I don't-
I mean,
matter.
because the
It wouldn't
NBA,
matter.
he gonna get that anyway because the NBA is trash.
I'm gonna give him his due regardless of whatever if he wins nothing else. Just because, like I said, he's a slim Karl Malone with Allen Iverson type speed. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just the fact that I can describe him that way. He's
you have to. Be,
I gotta put him in the discussion.
right.
I have to.
All right. Oh, I thought y'all. Was
But
gonna
to
laugh at
me,
No,
for Bo to go to the Pro Bowl and to be in
it's
a
a
Major League
toss-up.
Baseball All-Star,
you can't be mad at.
No one else has done
you
it.
Can't. I didn't go with Bo because I knew probably one of y'all was gonna go with him.
Yeah.
But just for the simple fact, like you can't be mad at that.
No.
To be able to hit a baseball, track a baseball in the outfield, to be able to dodge niggas trying to knock your head off running the ball,
and then outrun everybody,
and then outrun everybody,
and be bigger than everybody.
and I'm pretty sure he ran track at Auburn too.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so that takes athlete. Dion, very good athlete.
He's another one that was that's also in the discussion. You know what I'm saying? Dion's the only player to go to the Super Bowl and the World Series.
Right.
Ran track at Florida State. Played basketball. Dion averaged, I think, in the 30s in high school on the basketball court. So Dion definitely was up there with Bo, in my opinion. The only reason why I gave Bo the edge is because Bo made the Pro Bowl and was a
Right,
Major League All-Star.
right.
Gotcha.
But yeah, Dion, like I said, people sleep on Dion. Dion could play. He could hoop.
They
Play
just-
baseball. He
They-
ran
They
track.
just see Dion walking around now, driving around on that golf cart.
Them toes is bad. Well, Bo looking like one of us sitting at the house too now. He ain't,
Bo just out there
Bo
doing hunting.
archery.
yeah,
just hunting.
shooting deer and whatnot with
That's
a
it.
crossbow.
Up in Illinois.
Right. So, but yeah,
All right, so on to the next. So now that the football season's over with, they laid out the odds for the teams most likely to make the Super Bowl next year, or to win the Super Bowl, and it was the Packers, the Chiefs, the Bucs, and
Buffalo, I think, right?
was it Buffalo? It might have been
Buffalo's
Buffalo.
up there.
Yeah, I think it was
Yeah.
Buffalo. We're gonna kind of play off that a little bit different. Who is you guys' pick of the teams that did not make the playoffs this past season? Who do you think has a very good chance of making the playoffs and possibly making a Super Bowl run?
I'll go first. I think and I said this a second ago, I think if the Dolphins trade for Deshaun Watson,
Took my pick.
they got a good chance. But even if they don't, I think that Brian Flores got enough rolling. He, to me, in my opinion, even though old boy from Cleveland won Coach of the Year, I felt like that Brian Flores did more with less, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like the fact that he had them on the brink of making the playoffs.
Right.
With
We went down to the last week, right?
right. Yeah. He didn't have the stars that old boy had in Cleveland.
Right.
Not even close. I feel like he wins the award for turning chicken shit into chicken salad because if they're able to get Deshaun Watson and maybe pick a receiver or somebody else in the draft this year.
Yeah.
And like I said, even without Deshaun Watson, I think that they can sneak in.
Yeah.
So that's my pick. It'd be the Dolphins.
Slow.
That was going to be my pick, sir. I'm bouncing because I'm sitting here thinking about divisions and kind of easier routes to make it. My pick is going to be on some what ifs or if this happens. I believe if the San Francisco 49ers come back and if they have a team that's healthy, full, they'll return to their Super Bowl form and win the NFC West.
They got hit with injuries hard.
Hard.
Week 1 off the rip.
I
4
think-
players gone.
I think they were getting running backs from the labor pool.
They called me and I was
Yeah.
like, man,
Gone.
I'm not as athletic as Tom Brady, so I'm just gonna sit this one out. But anyway, do you think they can get past the Rams though? And Arizona?
Well, I mean, see,
Arizona's
was
gonna
my
be
next pick.
Arizona's gonna be better next year.
But before they got hurt, though, I mean that was a dominant team.
It was, but I
Now
agree
think about
with you.
if they pull off Deshaun. What if John Lynch pulls off the Deshaun Watson trade to the San
It's
Francisco
over.
49ers?
That's part of my what if. If
If-
Deshaun Watson comes in,
If that happens, then it's over. If that happens and they get back everybody they got back from year before last, then absolutely, yeah, they're better than the Rams. Well, whew.
Arizona was going
I
to
think
be my
it's gonna be them and the Rams battling because Arizona's gonna have to fall to the back.
right.
And the Seahawks may take a step back.
I don't trust Arizona's defense.
It looked like Russell trying to weasel his way out of there, but that's a whole other discussion.
Sierra probably want to go back to the crib.
She
Maybe
do.
we can go.
We know Matt Ryan's gonna be gone soon, probably. So
That's a good pick. I was bouncing between both teams, and like me, I come prepared because I am the pick 'em king. So I always got something in the chamber,
I was
right?
just finna get up. I had to stop myself.
I always got something in the chamber. So with that said, I think a sleeper team that has a good chance of making it to the playoffs, and I don't know about a Super Bowl run, but I think they can make the playoffs, is the Minnesota Vikings.
True.
Because they got a young enough defense with good, Danielle Hunter, Eric Kendricks, Mike Hughes in corner.
They can't depend on Kirk Cousins.
That's what I was gonna say. They still
But
got
that's
Kirk
it
Cousins.
though. Like if they can get Dalvin, if Dalvin can maintain his current pace
can stay
and play,
healthy.
if he can stay healthy, he can stay pretty healthy this year. I think he missed like 1 or 2 games probably.
Yeah, I don't think he played 16 games. Yeah.
So if they can keep him healthy, but Madison, their backup, is pretty
Right.
good too. So they got a good committee at running back.
receivers,
Justin Jefferson's coming into his own. So I think that's one of those teams where they maybe take out Green Bay in Minnesota and they win, 10, 11 games.
They just gotta hope Kirk Cousins don't fuck it up.
Kurt, just don't come in and mess it up, Kurt.
Yeah,
and just go
Kirk
from there.
don't lose the game for us.
Don't
And
lose the
that's a
game.
great pick. I think that's another one that's a sleeper team that's got a good chance. But like I said, their quarterback's gonna have to.
Yeah, man. He came in and got 40 mil guaranteed, all of it.
No, they give him. Yeah, it was just for the year.
It
I think
was a 2-year deal or a 3-year deal.
I think he got 80 something guaranteed from Washington, and then left, and then
and it was a 2-year deal or 3-year deal for like
ridiculous.
$60 million, all of it guaranteed.
and for what?
For
And
Kirk
you know what's crazy? I was watching. I don't really watch Undisputed like I used to. I'll just wait till it gets to YouTube so I can pick which clip.
Right.
They were talking about, of course, the Dallas Cowboys, like they always talk about Dak Prescott and his contract, and what do they think they're going to do, and do they think Dak is going to accept another franchise
Did
tag?
you see that Dallas put out a 2021 hype video for the team, and he wasn't on it?
Wow. It's like Shannon pointed out, like, why Dak? And I hate the Dallas Cowboys,
Right.
but why does Dak have to keep playing these games about if you trust me or not. And
It's because of who he's playing for.
And Kirk Cousins, all this money he's making, and he's still. I don't think they made the playoffs last year. I'm sorry.
It's two words: Jerry Jones. That's the only reason why we even having this conversation. It's because of Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones don't want to pay Dak. I think if Dak was somebody else, we wouldn't be talking about his money.
That's true.
But Jerry Jones,
Tony Romo the money.
Yeah,
for nothing.
He still Tony Romo's still getting paid from the Cowboys.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're not gonna.
That's a topic for another show.
All right. Well, that's gonna do it for who you got. Go Bucks.
All right, moving right along.
Man, we're going with the women, man.
Moving right along. Yeah. This week in Who's That Lady, we are giving a shout out to the incomparable Florence Griffith Joyner. Another person that's more athletic. Never mind.
Mm-hmm. You ain't lying.
Flo Jo, as they like to call her, as we like to call her, was the fastest woman in the world and still is to this day. She still holds records for the 100 meters and the 200 meters in the Olympics. But anyway, Florence Griffith Joyner was born and raised in California. She was born in L.A., as a matter of fact. She went to Cal State Northridge, and she also went to UCLA, where she started her track career. She qualified for the 100 meters in the 1980 Olympics, although she did not actually compete because that was during the time where the U.S. was boycotting the Olympics. So she came back in 84, and she won a silver medal in the 200 meters that year. But it wasn't until 1988 where she came and shocked the world. She ran a 10.6.1 to win the gold medal in the 100. That's still a record to this day. As well as she ran a 21.17 in the 200 that same year.
Oof,
still a record to this day held by that young lady. She was mainly known for her style. She kept her nails at, I believe they said it was 4 inches or so.
What they call the extra large nails these days.
Right.
Flo Jo is rocking them.
Exactly. She was rocking them back in the 80s before these young ladies was even in their training bras. But anyway.
Flo Jo was fine as hell.
Yes, she was.
I wish she had an Instagram page.
She also wore.
She's on Instagram. If anybody be on the Instagram.
She also wore what she called the one-legger, which was her running suit with that donned the one pant leg all the way down the right side, and the left leg was cut off. Something that you may not be aware of, Mr. Indiana Pacers fan, that she also designed Pacers uniforms.
Really? Yeah, I remember reading
at one point in time.
Right
yes,
there,
sir.
Flo.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, we lost Flo Jo at unexpected time. She died at the age of 38. But she still, like I said, still holds records to this day. I believe she has a daughter that precedes her. So we're going to give her daughter her flowers on her behalf. Shout out to Flo Jo from the OG Sports Show. We love you. Happy belated birthday. She had a birthday recently as well. And I don't think there'll ever be anybody like her.
No.
To be honest with you.
At all.
All right. Fellas, that wraps up week 8. We got to come back and get at it again in week 9. Figure out some topics we're going to discuss. Maybe we'll get into Dak Prescott and his lack of common sense with signing that franchise tag.
It's sports. Some shit will happen between now and then.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. We got something we're going to kick
And
up.
the HBCU starting they fall football too, so it's always something.
Right.
We'll get back at it. So we appreciate y'all stopping by once again. Check out SVM on YouTube. Not just us, but all our family of podcasts on the site. We'll get with y'all next time. Peace out.
Word up.